So yeah, I'm bald now. Welcome back to the Big Fella Podcast, episode 9, I think. I'm kind of losing count, but we're having a great time doing these. This doesn't include any guest episodes because we have another one coming out today with Johnny Cole from the Hey Brother Co. Hope you guys can be able to go check out that one. If you're talking about isolation, talking about, I had a really good conversations about the transition away from bodybuilding and how that affects your body dysmorphia, how to make more friends as a guy. We dive into the deeper mental aspects of mental health as a guy. It was a really good conversation. So go check that one out if you haven't seen it already. But today, outside of the fact that I am bald now, we are going to talk about how to eat out for effective fat loss. If you are trying to lose weight, we are coming into the most difficult part of the year. We are coming into the holiday season. It's October 14th, 2025, as I record this episode. And we're going to talk about how to navigate eating out, how to navigate holidays. Let me slow down and chill out for a second. And how to navigate Thanksgiving, Christmas, and everything in between, right? And Halloween for all my sweet tooth lovers out there. So, yeah, let me address the baldness. I just felt like it. I'm gonna be honest. The masculine urge to get a buzz cut was profound, and I needed a haircut anyway, and felt like shaving it off. And I had my hat on for the other podcast I recorded today. I'm just gonna keep it off. It is what it is, man. I don't hate it. I got a big ass head, but regardless, that's all there is to say about it, I guess. Haven't had a buzz cut since like 10 years old, so we'll dive in. But yeah, let's talk about it. I got 7 major things to do and kind of protocols, if you will, to follow to ensure that you can not only not gain weight when you go out to eat or have to get fast food or have to deal with holidays, but have to deal with holidays at all. We're going to break that mindset too. We want you to enjoy your holidays. We're trying to maximize your enjoyment and also maintain your progress. So we aren't going to avoid restaurants, right? We're not going to go to the dinner and order grilled chicken breast with asparagus every time we go out to eat. We're not going to order a salad every time we have to go to fast food, because fast food salads end up being higher calorie than the burgers most of the time, which is kind of a surprise for a lot of people. But we're also going to talk about just kind of the overall mindset to have and how it's really a more simple framework than a lot of people really think it is. So number 1, let's just dive straight in. All right, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling clinical. I'm bald. This is a new me. I feel good. I feel good. I feel the wind in my metaphorical hair. So the big fella travel and eating out rules. Number 1, front loading your day with protein. So this is super important to stack your protein early. Clients, you know this better than anybody. I talk about protein. If I were to tell somebody to take a shot every time I said the word protein, they would be dead within 2 days. Protein's got to be one of my most top 5 said words in the English language in my existence, because it really is that important for a fat loss journey and maintaining a healthy physique and maintaining your muscle mass and building your muscle mass. Also does a bunch of really good things for the rest of your body, not from a vain fat loss or health perspective. We want to stack the protein early. So that means we want to get your protein in early in the morning for breakfast and for lunch, okay? So without having to, what this does is effectively removes the need to play catch up on your protein when you go out to eat. Because if you have to go out to eat and think about hitting an extra 70 grams of protein, your options are going to feel very, very limited, and you're probably not going to be able to order the thing that you really end up wanting, right? And that's just a long-term, not a very sustainable mindset to have, okay? Remember that protein keeps us full. So if we can have 2 smaller meals that are super lean, high in protein, maybe some scrambled eggs, maybe some Greek yogurt. I'm a big fan of protein oatmeal. I spammed that for years and years. It's going to keep your calories low. It's going to keep your protein high. It's going to keep you chugging forward. So I think that's one of the best things that you can possibly do to, assuming the eating out is happening at dinner time, right? If it's breakfast, it's a little bit of a different strategy. But today we're going to be talking about, most of your holiday dinners, most of your restaurant adventures are obviously going to be happening for dinner, sometimes for lunch. But the concept still applies. Number 2, saving your calories for a main event. So when I've talked about the main event of the evening, ask yourself, where are the calories going to be most present? Right? Where are the calories going to be most found. If you're at a restaurant, it's going to be there. If you're going out to eat and it's like a fair sort of food truck situation, there's going to be more calories there than, the meat and the vegetables and the fruit and the groceries you have at the house, right? There's going to be more temptation. There's going to be more variety. That is going to be the main event of the day. It's pretty obvious to find, if you're going out to the restaurant or you're on a vacation, what's the main event of the day? So if I'm going on a 4-day vacation or I'm going out of town for Christmas for a week, every day is going to have some sort of main event, right? So save those calories for the main event. If you're tracking or you're not, specifically if you are tracking, this gets even easier. If your calorie goal is, let's say, 2,200, okay, cool. I've got 2,200 calories to play with to stay in my calorie deficit. Okay, cool. So if I save, I always recommend no less than 1,000 calories as a budget for a main event. You can get away with pretty much at least some sort of tasty dish at pretty much every restaurant for at least 1,000 calories. This is something I used to do when I was 300 pounds on my weight loss journey. Obviously, when I was losing my weight, it was COVID, so not a lot of restaurants were open. But I kind of figured out that if I gave myself a bare minimum of 1,000 calories as a budget for a restaurant, I'll be able to find something, right? Or close to 1,000 calories, right? Assuming you get a 0-calorie drink, et cetera, et cetera. We'll talk about more of that in a second. But this gives you breathing room to enjoy yourself and not having guilt. And if it's a big round number like that, you're really not going to forget it, right? So if my goal calories for the day are 2,200, that means breakfast and lunch can be a combined total of 1,200 calories, which is plenty. A 600-calorie breakfast and a 600-calorie lunch is more than doable, right? And there's a good chance that your calorie goal, if you're a bigger guy who is, north of 300 pounds, there's a great chance that your calories are a lot higher than 2,200. So if you have more calories to play with, and you want to budget more than 1,000, that number is ultimately decided by you. I've had some people where we've budgeted, some of my people, my clients in my program have budgeted up to 1,500 calories because they knew it was going to be a longer night of a bunch of food. And that's totally fine. That's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. You are budgeting your calories like you are budgeting money, right? If you think about it almost like here's my monthly budget. I know I have to buy a car by the end of the month. I should probably save more of my paychecks for the end of the month so I'll have more wiggle room to buy a car. And this feels all too real to me because now I have to buy a car because Ashley's Mini Cooper has officially died. I'm like intermittently giving you guys small updates on that Mini Cooper. Her Mini Cooper completely died, so we are going to sell it for parts and buy a car. So I am on the hunt for a car. I kind of want a truck, but we're going to see what we can find. Numero tres. Okay, so like I said, budget your calories for main event. Treat it like money. Give yourself a budget. Stay within that budget. Enjoy yourself. We're not here to keep it super minimal because if you're not planning ahead like this, at least it's small moments in the morning, then you're just kind of screwing yourself up. Because then if you eat like normal, then you may only have 400 to 500 calories or 600 calories left for eating out at dinner. That means you're going to be a lot more restricted or you're going to go over. And we don't want the guilt to be there. And we'll talk about that also in a second. Number 3, pick protein first options. Okay, so whether you're at fast food or a family dinner, lean meat plus lean proteins plus any vegetable, you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. Whether you're tracking calories or you're not, some sort of leaner meat plus vegetables will never be a bad pick. It's going to be a much more filling option. Also, if you want some serious game, if you're going to fast food, and this is just more of like I'm on my way home from work and I don't have a lot of time, go for a burger. Like, what's the traditional McDonald's order? Let me rewind for a second. What's the traditional McDonald's order? It's a burger, it's a fries, and it's drink, right? Quarter pounder, fries, and a Coke. It's kind of like the standard, right? Instead, I'd like to see you get the normal burger that you usually get or main dish, whatever it is, whatever restaurant you're at, right? Get a high protein side instead of your fries. And then get a 0-calorie drink on top of that. Because if you can do that, that's going to increase your protein and actually end up lowering your calories. What a lot of people don't realize is that like a normal hamburger, just traditional hamburger from McDonald's, is going to be lower calorie than the larger fry. And if you don't like McDonald's or you don't want to go to McDonald's anymore, Chick-fil-A, it's the same way. Taco Bell, you can find a higher protein option that's better than some of their sides, even though it's all just whatever. Taco Bell is kind of an anomaly for that one. But the point is that this can apply to any fast food joint. This can apply to Wendy's. This can apply to Burger King. This can apply to Raising Cane's, Jollibee, any of them, right? So if you can pick a higher protein side, most of the time it's going to be lower calorie and it's usually going to be higher protein. So you're going to stay fuller for longer, making it far better for fat loss. And if you can do that if it's a burger joint, like a Burger King or a McDonald's or a Wendy's or whatever, it's going to end up being more suitable for you in the long run to focus on that satiation, to focus on that satisfaction instead of just eating what you're used to buying all the time. And you're going to feel satisfied because you're going to have 2 sandwiches. You're going to have 2 main dishes. So it's going to feel like a satisfying amount of food, which is important psychologically as well. Number 4, stop drinking your calories. This is a big one. You hear me talk about it all the time when my clients join the program. This is, for most people, the first thing I always teach them. Don't sneak in any empty calories, right? If we can get a Coke versus a Diet Coke, if you get a large, it's like 300 calories. If it's a large Coke, if we get a large Diet Coke, it's a whopping 0. It's a pretty standard change there. Water, diet soda, tea, black coffee. Wherever you're at, a fast food joint or a restaurant, maybe getting like a lower calorie flavored tea, like a raspberry tea if you're at a restaurant or something, right? These are good places to save a ton of calories and still maximize your enjoyment. Because, unless you're a really big snob about the soda versus diet soda, which I hate to say it, hot take, dude. If it's the big 2025 and you're still talking about like, I don't like diet soda, it tastes weird. Like, get over yourself, man. It's such an easier way to lose the fat and you're making it harder on yourself otherwise. And that's just my opinion. I've had clients that have said that. I've made it work around it. I've disagreed with them and they still lost a lot of weight. It's still possible, but I just don't understand it. And no, aspartame doesn't give you cancer. It's 2025. I'm not here to argue the facts. Okay, got a little ranty there. Let's lock back in. Number 5, we only got 3 more. We're flying through this episode today. Peer pressure does not equal permission. If you're worried about what others think or say about you changing your eating habits, just be open and transparent with them. Right? You don't need to get other people's permission to eat healthier. You don't need to get other people's permission to change your eating habits. Even if you're going out with your best friends, even if you're on a trip, even if you're with coworkers that have seen you eat the same way, right? Whatever the case is, relatives that always comment on your weight or your eating choices, those are the fucking worst. You don't owe them an explanation, first of all. You don't owe them an explanation at all, no matter who it is. But if you do want to give them an explanation because they keep bringing it up, just be transparent with them. I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm focusing on lower calories and higher protein. Boom, end of story. And if they really care about you, they'll support it. If they don't, they'll give you a hard time. And so be it. They're not going to decide whether or not you make the right decision for you. Because I'm sorry, the normalized behavior in America is not health focused or health forward in both a mental or a physical standard. So you will be the outlier in a lot of these environments, and that's something you have to be okay with. You being health focused and health forward, you might be the only person in your family even considering protein or calories. It doesn't mean that we have to restrict ourselves at all, and that's what this video is all about. If you front load your protein, budget your calories effectively, get your steps in, and don't consume any empty calories, then you can still enjoy food. A lot of people won't even notice that the fact that you're making some of these changes. A lot of people won't, they're not going to get offended by it. Most of them probably won't care, but some people do. I know some clients that have some parents or some friends that are just complete assholes about their diet changes, and they think they have autonomy over their bodies, and it's just ridiculous. Tell them to go take a fucking hike. If you want to make changes to your health, you have to be okay with being the only person in your family in the meantime that's going to do it. Especially if you're like seeing extended family over Thanksgiving or Christmas, right? Or Halloween even. Shout out all my Canadians, by the way. Thanksgiving for Canadians was last weekend, and all my Canadians clients seem to have enjoyed their time and crushed it. So shout out you guys. I'm proud of you. All right, number 6, convenience doesn't have to mean that you're compromising. This is a big one. I talk to a lot of my guys in my program about convenience. Whether you're on a road trip or you're stuck in the airport or you're at a truck stop because you're on the road trip, you have to know how to spot the high protein foods and how to find those low calorie snacks. Right? We've talked a lot about the 1 to 10 protein to calorie ratio as a good identifier, but I also just want to give you some hard actual recommendations so you can just not have to think about it and just use these tools. beef jerky, protein bars, cheese sticks, fruit cups, protein shakes. Some of these are lower calorie, some of these are higher protein, some of them are both. The pre-made sandwiches, hard-boiled eggs. Kind of a really strange take I have here. If you're at a rest stop like a Love's or a Buc-ee's, they'll sell those pre-packaged hard-boiled eggs. And I get it. On paper, the metrics are fucking terrible. A truck stop hard-boiled egg sounds like probably the worst thing ever. I'm telling you what, dude, if it's a solid truck stop like Love's or Buc-ee's, it's good. They're fine. They're refrigerated. They're fresh. I've never had a bad one. And I get my protein in, and I feel full off of 3 or 4 hard-boiled eggs compared to getting a bag of chips. And sometimes I'll still get the bag of chips because, hashtag protein pairing. But don't think that you have to sacrifice all of your calories. Don't think that your journey has to completely disappear because you are going to be reliant on convenience, right? Control what's in your control. Sometimes you're not going to have the best options, and that's completely fine. That's completely fine. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's kind of inevitable, right? But if you can know where to get your protein in, most of the time, if you're concerned about calories or protein, by the way, if you focus on protein, the calories usually solve themselves because you're going to be less likely to snack or graze, and you're going to be usually choosing slightly lower calorie options if they end up being higher protein anyway. So just kind of consider that when you don't know how to track something, or you are feeling just like a lot of these choices are out of your control because of the travel, just focus on the higher protein options. Sometimes that's the best you can do, and that's fine. So that's fine. I would, if I had to add an 8th one, before I get to number 7, if I had to add like a 6.5 step, I would definitely say, accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect, right? It's not worth stressing yourself out over it. It's not worth bringing the food scale to the family function. It's not worth questioning your self-worth. It's not worth making yourself guilty. It's not worth. It's going to have to come from acceptance. You're going to have to accept that these things are not perfect. And sometimes the goal is just to maintain the progress that you've made instead of trying to continuously lose fat over a holiday weekend. And this is, again, more so pertaining specifically to the holidays. But eating out sometimes the same way. If you're going out for a long weekend, or you're going out to restaurants multiple times under your own, sometimes the options aren't going to be the best. Just do what you can with what you have. That's always it's always going to boil down to that. Control what's in your control and do what you can with what you have, right? If you're going out to eat and you're the one deciding to go out to eat all the time, then that's a different story. Then you can't play victim, right? Then you can't say like, oh, it's out of my control. You're the one that's putting yourself there. You have to have an uncomfortable conversation with yourself and realize, okay, am I the one that's recommending me and my whole family go out to eat 4 times a week? If that's the case, then that's a difficult conversation that you have to have with yourself. That's when some accountability has to come in from you, because you can cook all the food in the world, but if you're going out to eat several times a week, you are inherently making it more difficult. And I am all about fitting in going out to eat. Going out to eat is one of the best things that part of our society. I love going out to eat. It's a part of sharing a meal with people at a fun restaurant is like just a part of the game now. That's a part of life that we don't want to take away from anybody. But if you're going to the wrong restaurants and you're not being mindful and you're not planning ahead, of course it's going to be harder to lose weight. What are you going to expect? So there is some planning that can happen to still maximize your enjoyment and minimize the overall sacrifice required, as long as you just do it in a systemic, controlled way. Now, numero 7, siete. Don't ruin your progress with guilt. This kind of piggybacks off of what I just said. The real win is being able to zoom out and understand that one meal is not going to do a damn thing to you, right? I've had people who have had several perfect weeks in a row, and then the scale will bump up 3 pounds, and they freak out. I was like, hey, were you good? Did you focus on what was in your control? Did you even go out to eat? And they'll say, yeah. I'm like, then you're fine. It's not fat. The body is measuring so much more. The scale is measuring so much more in your body than just fat. Sometimes the numbers just aren't going to show you what you want to show them. This is a long-term journey. Zoom out. A lot of the stress that comes from a fat loss journey comes from being too zoomed in. When I was at my most vulnerable and I was at my worst relationship with food, I was weighing every ounce of everything I ate, and I was terrified, and I thought about it for weeks ahead of time if I knew I was going to go out to eat with somebody. If I knew that somebody wanted to go out to eat with me on a Friday night, I was thinking about it on a Monday. That's not the mindset you want to have. It consumes way too much energy mentally. It consumes way too much energy. And that's not something you want, because what that led me to was a binge restrict cycle. I would try to over restrict for the entire week to make room, for these normal restaurant meals. It's not like I was planning on binging, but then I would end up leading to a binge because I was over restricting myself. And I was like, yes, the finish line. I'm here. It's Friday night. I can eat whatever I want without repercussions. And then ultimately that just further it just further damaged my relationship with food. It's not what we want to see. Real progress looks like enjoying your food, hitting your goals, going on vacation without fear, eating fast food every once in a while without spiraling out of control or falling off the wagon, heavy air quotes, being a man with a plan and not the one with regrets. You are not aiming to be perfect. You are aiming to be good most of the time. Your life is going to include a burger. Your life is going to include trips with your family. Your life is going to include meals and weekends where you are not in control of your eating. The better you can accept that and still keep the progress going and be able to get right back on the horse, super duper heavy air quotes there, the better. And if I had to add even another thing, originally I had a list of 7. This kind of turned into like 9 things. So here's 9 things instead. Treat it like it's a normal day the next day. Even if you ate everything under the sun and you ordered everything on the menu and you filmed a full TikTok mukbang by yourself, ate everything ASMR style, the black gloves on and everything, you are not going to, you decide how much it impacts you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You can choose to sit there and be a victim of your own circumstances, and you can choose to sit there and feel guilty about it for weeks and weeks and days and days and let it infect your psyche and let it completely derail all of your progress because you stopped trying. Or you can treat the next day like a normal day. Get up, get your steps in, hit your calorie goal, and get back to work like nothing ever happened, because ultimately that's going to have way bigger of an effect on your journey. What happens a little bit before and multiple days after the eating out is much more important than the actual eating out itself. It doesn't matter if you eat 1,000 calories at the restaurant or 4,000 calories at the restaurant. What is going to matter more is how you respond afterwards and how you prepare briefly beforehand. If you prepare briefly beforehand, hit your protein ahead of time, and give yourself a healthy budget and enjoy yourself guilt-free at the function, at the restaurant, at the event, and then you continue your next day. Let's say you go out on a Friday night, and if you make that Saturday a normal day where you get your steps, you hit your calories, you cook your food, and you do what you're supposed to do, then there's no harm done in the long term. That small increase in calories on that one meal is not going to have an effect on your lifestyle long term. It's not going to change pretty much anything about your progress long term. If anything, use it as an opportunity to honor your cravings and keep moving forward. I see so many people get so psyched out about going out to eat. I see so many people get so psyched out and they're thinking too much about it. Zoom out. Understand that eating out is going to have to be a part of this journey. I was talking to somebody in my DMs yesterday, and it kind of frustrated me. I'm not going to lie, because it was a guy who's who wasn't a kid. He seemed like maybe around my age. I have no way of knowing for sure. And he was telling me he was eating 1,300 calories a day or 1,500 calories a day as a range. And I'm like, that's too low for you. That's like how many calories a middle school girl should be eating. Long term, I don't think that that's sustainable for you. And then he's like, it's working for me though. I'm like, yeah, because you've been doing it for a month or two. Long term, that's going to be really hard for you to sustain. Don't you want to keep your progress? He's like, well, I'm going to keep my progress regardless. And then after that, I just left him on red. I'm like, okay. He wasn't a client. It was just a person in my DMs. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I cannot convince him otherwise. I wish him nothing but luck. I hope he continues, and I hope he has a successful journey. I hope he proves me wrong. But it's in my experience that those severe dieting, I mean, he said he cut out something. I can't remember what he said. I think he said he cut out gluten maybe, or flour or something like that. I can't help him with that restriction if he thinks he's going to be able to do it himself. And there's going to be people in your life that are going to have opinions on your diet. I mean, technically, I'm having an opinion on this guy's diet. I could be completely fucking wrong here. I could look like a clown because maybe this guy loses 80 more pounds on that diet and then has no problem rebounding. But from my experience of working with over 250 people, a restriction diet where you don't allow yourself entire food groups and you don't allow yourself to go out to eat is not going to work out long term. If you have 80 pounds to lose or 40 pounds to lose, think about the lifestyle that you want after you lose the weight. Don't think about the journey of losing the weight in the first place. Think about, what do you want the end goal to look like for the next 10 years? What do you want the end goal to look like in 20 years? Right? Do you want to have to go back into a diet in 20 years? Do you want to have to go back and hire another coach 5 years down the line? Do you want to have to go back and start a whole nother weight loss journey in 6 years? No? Oh, then you should probably fit the fun stuff in now. You should probably find a system to fit in the restaurants, to fit in the fast food every once in a while, and to fit in the holidays guilt-free and still know how to make your progress. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because these are questions I get a lot on my DMs and just in the community in general. So that's pretty much everything I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make fun of me all you want in the comments. I'd love to hear some of your guys' opinions and comparisons as to what I look like. I'm getting a lot of references to that SpongeBob episode of just the guy screaming bald from the SpongeBob movie where he's blinded by that character's baldness. So that's the one that's winning right now. So if you have any other funny recommendations, let me know. Or funny comparisons, drop them in the comments. But yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you guys liked this video and found it helpful, hopefully you took some notes. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. So these are some of my 7 that turned into 9 best tips for eating out, travel eating, and fast food, especially when it comes around the holidays. So if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments. Subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, check the link in the description. I have a free 25-day email course that's going to give you exact frameworks to follow. This is actually the script that came for this video, actually came from one of the emails on day 8. So if you want this level of value sent to your inbox for free for 31 days straight, go check the link in the description and go check it out. It's completely free. It'll cost you $0. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. Same with the YouTube channel. That's cool too. You got free will, brother. All right, man. Happy Tuesday. Just know that I love you so much. And keep it simple, big fella.